Hi, and welcome to Community Action Now, brought to you by Eastern Nebraska Community Action Partnership. I'm your host, Bryn Schimmel, and it is July 2022. Today, we are going to talk about a few things. We have some really fun guests, and our first guest is Michael Griffin. Now, Michael is the Community Health Programs Manager at the University of Nebraska Medical Center. So Michael, if you would tell me a little bit about you first.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. My name is Michael. So I was born in Kansas City, but, I graduated here, so I identify as a native Omahaan. And so I'm really passionate about community-centered approach towards solving problems that impact our health adversely. And so that includes issues with race, issues with class, but I guess the fundamental goal is to involve community at every level of the process. And so too often you see health officials go into communities, acting as though they have the answers, acting as though the community members don't have autonomy or intellect that we can learn from. And so at UNMC, I work in the Center for Reducing Health Disparities. And so the main goal of that is to reduce disparities in our North Omaha community through programming, research endeavors, and evaluation work. So I help lead that charge.
Cool. So the Center for Health Disparities, or for Reducing Health Disparities, that's part of the College of Public Health. When was that created? Kind of how did the center come about?
Yeah, so I should also say I am new, so I'm not sure.
Sorry, I put you on the spot a little bit there.
No problem. I'm not sure, but I can paint a little better picture about the structure of UNMC, just because a lot of folks don't know about it, that don't work there.
Yeah, I mean, mostly everyone is familiar with UNMC here in Omaha, but I had no idea that there was a Center for Reducing Health Disparities, so yeah, absolutely.
Totally. Yeah, so you have UNMC as the overall school, and then there are different schools underneath that, so like med school, public health school, et cetera. And then under public health, there's a program that's called health promotion. Okay. And so that is where our center is. And so it is a relatively new part of UNMC, although I don't know the exact date.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Tell me about some of the programs that you do through the center.
Yeah, definitely. So a cornerstone of all work is collaboration, both with community as well as different institutions. And so a big program that I'm helping with is called Xchange. And so that's a partnership with UNMC as well as ENCAP.
Which we're going to talk more about.
And the goal of that is to have two generations help each other with reduced health disparities and improved learning. And so we have a great group of adult mentors, and they are essentially teacher assistants for classrooms that have academic barriers in OPS. And so the goal with this program is that we have students that have improved academic performance, and we have mentors that have improved health outcomes. So two for the price of one.
Absolutely. Like I said, we'll talk more about Generation Xchange specifically.
Sure.
What kind of things are you working on? I know you're fairly new, but what kind of programs are you hoping to get started?
Yeah, so I am really passionate about improving community access and participation with culture as a conduit for that.
All right.
Think about how many folks know every song to every lyric, everything from a movie. They see themselves in their cultural practices.
Right.
And so for me personally, I'm really passionate about making programs that have art and culture emphasis. Because if we think about it, there's mass participation in
absolutely.
art. And so how can we have that same mass participation by reinstating trust in the health system? And so I look to have programs that really speak to those values.
Very cool.
Thanks.
What has been kind of your favorite part of the job so far?
Yeah, definitely. I'd say community relationship building. In the past, I've done outreach work, but with outreach work, it's more, hey everyone, be healthy. All right, never see you again.
Right, sure.
Really important.
One-offs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But what I really enjoy is actually program implementation.
Yeah, so more long-term partnerships.
With community members.
Cool.
Folks that we'll see later on the show, we've met once a week for 6 months.
Yeah.
So I really enjoy how the work of relationship building also positively impacts my life. You know, I'm from North Omaha, and
Right.
so I'm meeting mentors that I've seen from afar, but now at a more professional capacity. So it's great.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you said the Center for Reducing Health Disparities focuses mostly on the North Omaha area. Is that correct? Or
So,
not quite?
Totally.
'Kay.
So the Center for Reducing Health Disparities focuses on reducing health disparities of community members. A lot of times with research endeavors, it's like, let's get published.
Right.
That's the primary goal.
Sure.
But that's not the primary goal in this department. And so I'm from the North Omaha site. That's near 52nd and Ames in the
Okay.
Omaha Home for Boys.
And you said Dr. Kiana King is the head of that site.
Definitely.
Okay.
Yep. Dr. Kiana King is the head of the site. And so our focus is North Omaha.
Got it. Okay. So there are different sites within the center.
So we actually have the only non-UNMC site
Okay.
in North Omaha.
Okay.
But there are different teams within the Center for Reducing Health Disparities that focus on South Omaha.
Okay.
But they're still housed and doing research
Sure.
out of the main UNMC campus.
Okay, got it. So we're going to put up on the screen information on if people are looking for services or assistance, how they would be able to get a hold of you guys.
Sure.
But let's shift a little bit then to Generation Exchange. So for anyone who doesn't know, so you kind of explained it, the program originated in Los Angeles, where they used, senior members of the community in, I think it's K through 3 classrooms, right?
Mm-hmm.
As kind of mentors, and this just whole really cool program was born. So we brought it to Omaha. Were you part of the team that went out to LA? No, okay, I wasn't either. But so we had our executive director, I think at ENCAP, went out, and I think Dr. King went out and observed and brought back this idea to do this. And how are you, so you've kind of been given charge of that program, right?
Yeah.
So how are you feeling about it so far? We did like not a soft opening, but kind of like a trial run at the end of this school year, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
How are we feeling about things?
I love it
Yeah.
personally. So a little about me, I was raised by my mom and my grandmother. So I've always had a very strong connection with folks that are a bit older than me. And so it's really great to really give credibility to that knowledge,
Right.
that insight. And so you spoke to the soft rollout. And so that was the trial run to really make sure that we have our T's crossed and our I's dotted. And that was just a month and a half.
Okay.
And then we're starting the full rollout, which is the school year. And what was really cool about the soft rollout is that the mentors helped us evaluate the program in real time. And so not only were they a part of it, but statements that they made in the evaluation process will help guide how we create the full run through. And so to me, that's revolutionary, to use institutional resources that are molded by mentors.
Yeah.
And I think that's pretty revolutionary. And also, I'm really excited about having different types of institutions partner.
Yeah.
With Generation Exchange, we have UNMC, we have ENCAP, and we also have OPS schools. And so it's been a great learning experience. It's really relevant when we talk about integrated care and making sure that we really are holistic with care that we give.
Yeah.
And so it's been beautiful to see in this program how that's reflected with diverse, dynamic partnerships.
Yeah, that's amazing. So for the soft rollout, were you only in one school? So we did Lothrop Elementary, right? And we spoke with Melita, with their principal last
Right.
week. And what is the plan for the fall? How many schools are we looking to have this program in?
Right. So the plan is to have a solid foundation before we try to build the chimney.
Sure.
And so for this fall, we're actually having the same number of mentors,
Okay.
the same school, but it's going to be for the full academic calendar,
Okay.
as opposed to a month or two.
Sure.
Because what makes this program really unique is that it's a research program as well. We're still measuring if health improves during the program.
Right.
So we need a longer length of time. And then we're planning to move to further OPS schools along the road, but slow and steady wins the race.
Yeah. So for the full school year, it's 2 days a week, or do they split their hours up however they would like to? It's 10 hours a week, correct?
Right.
So each mentor commits 10 hours a week to the same classroom. and it gives them, something to do. It gives them a place to kind of share all the things that they know and work with the kids. So I think it's really awesome on both sides, for teachers to have extra help in the classrooms, for the kids who love it, and for our mentors who also seem to really enjoy it so far. We are looking at, do we have mentors, the full set of mentors for the school year, or are we still looking for volunteers?
Yeah, so the timeline now is to have have Lothrop this fall for the full academic calendar.
Okay.
And then we're making plans to branch towards Menalusa.
Yes.
And then begin that in the spring of 2023. And so we are still recruiting mentors for that cohort.
Awesome. And if you were interested in being a mentor or in supporting this program in any way, how could people do that?
Yeah, so I'd say be connected to ENCAP and just keep your head on the swivel. We are recruiting, and so follow us on social media, all the plugs.
Right.
And there are also a lot of opportunities, as you know, at ENCAP for mentors outside of Generation Exchange.
Yeah, absolutely.
So everyone wins if they get connected to ENCAP.
Yeah. Great. Well, thank you so much for being here and talking to us about Generation Exchange. We are super excited for the big rollout in the fall. If you want to get involved, we have all the information up on the screen. And we will take a quick break and come back. Thank you.
Where can you watch KPAO Community Television? The channel with all of the local shows. If you live in the Omaha area, Cox Channel 22 HD is your place. If you prefer streaming, go to kpaoTVOmaha.org. And now, if you have the Apple TV box, grab our app and watch us there. KPAO on cable, streaming live, and now on Apple TV.
Welcome back to Community Action Now. I'm your host, Bryn Schimmel, and for the second half of our show, we have our friend Kat, who is the Senior Wellness Supervisor at ENCAP, who we've had on before to do some exercising. And then we have Mr. Cliff Robbins, who is one of our Generation Exchange mentors. And we're going to talk, again, more about Generation Exchange. Kat, tell us a little bit about your job at ENCAP first.
Sure, I am the Senior Wellness Supervisor at ENCAP. So I have a class of about 10 to 15 seniors that come out to ENCAP and exercise regularly. We also do field trips, anything that we can get them out of their house and engaging with each other, and also working on their physical activity. That's what we do.
Awesome. So, we'll just start right with Generation Exchange. Michael kind of gave us the basics of the program. What made you want to partner with UNMC to do this?
It was a very easy partnership because of the office that they work in.
Right.
They are out to obviously benefit the community in any way they can when it comes to health disparities in the Omaha area.
Right.
So,
Which there are
a lot of. So for them looking at the older adult population and seeing how we can benefit their health, but also simultaneously looking at the school districts in the area to see how we can also benefit the educational outcomes for the students.
So we talked a little bit about kind of the soft rollout that we did with Lothrop Elementary, which is a Omaha public school, and that went fairly successfully. Cliff, why don't you tell us about your experience at Lothrop this spring? Tell us what you did.
Well, it was an amazing experience. I was a mentor to a class of second graders. And I think my first couple of days, it was horrifying. Being in a classroom with these students and all of the energy level.
And times are a little bit different.
Yes, very, very much different from when I was a student at Lothrop Elementary School.
Oh, okay.
Longer ago than I care to mention.
So you're a native Omahan as well then?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and I attended Lothrop Elementary School, and it was a very warm and enriching experience for me in that kindergarten through the 6th grade, I never missed a day of school. I was never tardy. I kind of liked school.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, that's where all my friends were. You know, that's where I went to not only learn but to have fun.
Right. So what is that part of what attracted you to be part of the Generation Exchange program?
Well, because I knew that it was going to be focused at Lothrop, and I've got a long history with that school in that not only was I a student there and my 2 younger brothers, but I have a cousin who was at one time the assistant principal there, and my mother, who is currently age 95, she had a career, and after her retirement from her first career, she was recruited to go to Lothrop to actually do very similar to what I'm doing now. And she worked another 22 years
Amazing.
there at Lothrop, and
That's fantastic.
she loved it.
That's amazing. What, Kat, do you think has been the best part so far of the Generation Exchange program? I know it's still early.
I think just seeing the excitement in the seniors when they can kind of see the little bit of engagement and a little bit of connection that they're making with the students. It's been a very short rollout. It was only about a month and a half, and they were just so excited to be there. So.
And you have a background, you know, in health and wellness. So what are some of the benefits that Generation Exchange has seen so far? I know we're still tracking data.
Yes.
But what are some of the things that we've seen so far, and maybe some of the hopes that we have going forward as far as an increase in positivity?
Sure. So those health outcomes, obviously the LA team were the first to see those. We, again, the data's not all collected, but we definitely would like to see an improvement in their overall physical health, their cognition, and then obviously through the social engagement, social interactions that they're making as well, you know, getting them out of isolation and getting them working around other people, and just keeping them young, working with the students. So all of those are outcomes we would love to see.
And kind of like we discussed with Michael, the hope is to, you know, grow and expand a little bit, get into more schools.
Yes.
And I know that you are excited about that. I know that, so the current principal at Lothrop is moving to Minnelusa. And so she wants to, though, continue the program. And so we're hoping to get more mentors and all of that in place and really grow.
Right. Yeah, recruitment's definitely starting. So if anybody's interested, definitely reach out.
We'll put all that information up on the screen.
Yes.
For anyone that's interested or wants to get involved. Cliff, what has been your favorite part of being in the program just for that short time?
Well, I think it's the engagement with the students and with the teacher. I told the teacher that I was assigned with that she reminded me of John Wayne because she had true grit.
All right. Yeah, it's been a rough couple of years for teachers.
Very, very challenging, you know, with the students spending a whole year of remote learning.
Right.
And then to return to that classroom setting, it presented them with certain challenges. And I thought that I would go into this activity and I would be able to impart all of my acquired wisdom and knowledge with these young minds.
Of course.
But I quickly learned that I actually had more to learn from them than I think that they may have had to learn from me. And it was very, very enjoyable. I loved it.
Good. You're doing it in the fall again.
Absolutely.
I asked you on the spot. You have to say yes, obviously. I'm sure that there are many, I used to work for a school district, and I know that kids are fun and unpredictable and outspoken, and they surprise you every day. Do you have any stories that stand out to you from just that month with the kids?
Well, one of the activities that the teacher engaged in with the students was to show them through an approach to sciences what could be created by using heat and or cold.
Okay.
And there was a video that they had one day in class, and it was how to very simply make some homemade ice cream. And so when I was a child, it was an activity that took place in my family quite a lot. So I spoke to the principal first and asked if I could have permission to make homemade ice cream for the students. And she said, well, they would have to earn it. And so I presented them with that challenge probably about 5 weeks before the end of the school year. They were very enthralled and excited and accepted the challenge. I don't know how successful they were, but I was committed to make homemade ice cream for them, and I engaged all of them in the process. And at the end of the school year, matter of fact, the next to the last day of school, we had a classroom plus a few extra teachers who enjoyed the homemade ice cream. And I think that it's something that will stay with them for some time to come. Who knows, in the fall, they may approach me.
They might. You might be in charge
do it
of ice
again.
cream now every year. Who knows? You might have to think of something that you can make in the fall months for them to work towards.
Maybe some candied apples or something.
There you go. COVID had, we talk about this all the time. COVID had such a big impact on everything, on nonprofits, on schools. Generation Exchange was actually a program that ENCAP and UNMC were looking at starting pre-COVID, and then it kept getting pushed and pushed and pushed. And so we are really, really excited to finally be rolling it out and getting involved with the schools. So we're so happy to have you, Cliff, and all of the mentors spending time with the kids. I'm sure that they love it. I'm sure that the teachers appreciate the extra help. And we're just so grateful for all the involvement from you guys and from other community members. And I know that we are just super excited for the fall.
Yes.
And to do the full program. We're really looking forward to everything. And, maybe we'll have to have you guys come back at the end of next year as we continue to kind of track improvements, and we'll just have to have you talk about how the next school year goes.
That sounds great.
I'd be happy to do so.
Well, thank you both so much for being here. And if anyone wants more information on Generation Exchange or on ENCAP or on the University of Nebraska Med Center's College of Public Health, the Center for Health Disparities, make sure to get in touch with us. We're going to put all of the social media tags up. And as always, thank you to everyone for tuning in and for helping us keep people safe, fed, and housed. We'll see you next time.